Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to Genda Connections Nadi. It is an absolute pleasure to have all of you here today. Fiji's biggest revenue earner is our tourism industry. And our tourism industry markets us to the world as Fiji, where happiness finds you. Now, thousands of people in the world look at these ads, buy a ticket, and travel to Fiji in the pursuit of their happiness and hoping that they will find happiness here because that's what we're telling them. Happiness is here. So then wouldn't you find it ironic if happiness is here in all our texts and all the modern age gurus and everyone's telling us that the purpose of life is to be happy? Half of our population at the moment have visa applications in the Australia, New Zealand and US Embassy trying to get out of here. If happiness is here, why are our Fijian people trying to run away? At the present moment, the building industry is at the all-time high. We have a workforce without any qualification, any trade background, coming and demanding $8, $9 an hour. And we have building companies that are paying these guys that much. Despite that, employers are having twice the number of people on their payrolls than they should, just to cater for the fact that on any given day, half your workforce doesn't turn up to work. And those of you who are in the business would know this. So, what is it? If money was the motivator, we are at the moment paying a lot of money. Why are our people leaving? It also goes back to education. Right now, there are more Fijians around the globe than there are in Fiji, and they're providing professional support, backbone support to their adopted countries. I was just speaking to the coordinator at Technical College the other day. He said he has trade programs running free from 5 to 8 every day at his college. And he has difficulties getting young people to come and attend those classes. And this is free. And we always say education in Fiji is not good. So, are we saying that people's lives in overseas are better than here? I'd like to ask you a question. And this is I ask in all our Genda Connection events. And that is to define yourself. If I were to ask you to take away your job title, whatever it is that you do during the day, you're an accountant, a project executive, a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is, put it aside and define yourself for me. Who would you be? What are you? And ever since I've started asking these questions to people, they have difficulty in answering it. And difficulty not because it's a hard question. Difficulty because we've never thought about it. Ever since we are born into a complex, intricate web of roles and responsibilities and our expectations. If you're someone's daughter, if you're born in Fiji, you're automatically connected to your nationality. You have to like rugby. If you don't like rugby, you're like a national traitor, yeah? So you have to like rugby. If you're an Indo-Fijian woman, there's automatic expectation you must make gola roti, because your gola roti will then one day feed your husband's family, and if your gola roti is not good, how is then your definition of a woman? If you're a son, same time, automatically the expectations, the burdens of your father is then automatically going to one day transfer to your shoulders, and you are meant to slog it down your life because you are his son. Is that fair? Yes. We have parents, they raised us. It is fair enough to expect it. But at what point do we then define ourselves? And with our education system, our lifestyle in Fiji, we don't talk about these sort of things. If you're an Indo-Fijian family, everything is about false pride. You have a monster of a son at home, he has problems, but you go outside to your family and friends, my son bahut acha pade, din bhar khali room mein pade.
You know? Like Ocha said. If you're from a Itoke family, we have a area of taboo. Certain things we don't talk about outside home. And in our culture, in our traditions, in the way we are, somehow we don't talk about these definitions. So then this is what the Genda project is about. It's not a event show or anything. The reason I set up this initiative was to help people find themselves. It's a platform where you come and define yourself, challenge yourself, listen to other people and see, am I living my life to my full potential? When I asked you to define yourself, your definition of work should never be what your job title is. How long in life can you be an accountant? Some of us are so engrossed in the jobs we do, humbled barka boss, and we carry that boss in us into our house, into our family lives, how we interact with people. We've let our jobs dedicate, because that's what our societies have told us. What we do, what our jobs is, are then defining us who we should be. Now, you'd be thinking, well, this little idiot, she's now just told us that work is not your definition, but then she's organized an event called business. So what are we doing here? And I'm very with you if you're thinking about this. Why are you calling an event, calling Genda Business, and talking about people's business stories when it's about defining yourself? This March, we had Genda Connections Nadi. And one of our speakers, James Phagwan, he talked about do what you love, the money will follow. And he spoke about 3 types of people and how they approach work. There's one kind of people who think work is as a job. They go to it 9 to 5, they earn their money, and that's enough. As long as they get their wages at the end of the week, enough to pay the bills, enough to put food on the table, they're happy. There's this second kind of people who look at work as career. As they progress into each step, each success gives meaning to them. And then that's the satisfaction in that real role there for them. And then there's this third kind of people who regard work as vocation. And vocation is identifying what your skills are, what you're good at, but most importantly, what you love doing. What makes you happy. And then just living your life doing that. And Genda Connections Nadi, Genda Connections Business is just exactly this. My 8 speakers today are not business people. When I was curating this, I asked people suggestions for, can I get this speaker? Who can I approach? And I was like, that big business, go talk to that guy. Man, these people are making so much net profit, you need to go speak to that guy. And that's not the point. The point was, my 8 speakers are living a life which has aligned them to what their purpose on earth is, if you might say, or what their purpose in life is. So today you're not going to be hearing how they've made up. Yes, of course you're going to hear their business journey, but what you will hear is how they live their lives, how they contribute to others, and ultimately be happy in who they are, and why they choose to be here in Fiji. And that's what the aim of Genda Connections is. Part of the initiative is we find these individuals, put them in front of a Fijian audience to help you find yourselves, challenge you out of your comfort zones, maybe think about things that you may not have thought about otherwise. At Genda Connections, or at the Genda project, I'm not saying, or we're not saying, don't travel, don't go out of life. If your heart desires to go live in Rome and eat pizzas for the rest of your life, go do that. If you think your true happiness is in Australia, working a 9 to 5 job there, do that. Do whatever your heart desires, but please don't live a life where you don't know who you are. If you cannot define who you are without taking in what you do as a living, then that's something that you need to take from. As humans, we're always curious. We always want to go here, we want to try new things. We always think that neighborhood is better. I should move into the richer neighborhood. I should move into that country. All my relatives are going to be thinking that the grass is always greener everywhere. And at the Genda project, we'd like to tell you that beyond that greenest, the grass is greenest, not anywhere else, not where you seek. The grass is the greenest where you choose to stand and define yourself. It's where you choose to stand and know who you are. And it can be anywhere on the globe. It's where you decide to stand. That's where your happiness is. I look forward to meeting all of you during the networking schedule. To my 8 amazing speakers, thank you for putting your hands up and coming here and sharing your life stories. I hope you get challenged by them, you get inspired by them, motivated by them. Welcome to Genda Connections. Thank you.